Just another reminder that Friday night is Relay for Life. It will be at the Sportsplex in Magee. And today we have one of our honorees with us, Greg Hall, and his wife, Susan. I think they come as a pair. They've been together forever, and I think of them as a pair. And they will be down at the Sportsplex. The ceremonies begin around 6. I think everything kicks off again at 7. I hope you'll make an effort to come. Make a contribution or just come down there and let these people know. It is a very moving ceremony down there, and it's a great time to be with everybody in fellowship. And that's Friday night, April the 27th, right at 6 o'clock. We'll look for you there. And I'd asked Greg and Susan if they would come by and talk to me because I was interested in some of the things that Greg has gone through this past year, a couple of years now, because I've known him, as I said, a long time. And as Greg would tell you, it is like looking at night and day. You know, if I did not know and had not been with him, I don't know that I would have even recognized him. And this is something that I know has been difficult for him and for his family, for you, but the thing that I love is I've still got him. So you know what? It does not matter one bit to me because I've still got you. But I wanted you to tell me a little bit about MD Anderson. I know you started in Jackson and still stay with the people in Jackson. But when did you decide to go to MD Anderson?
Well, we went to see our oncologist, the first oncologist in Jackson. And he told us that if it was me, I would go ahead and get in at MD Anderson. He told me I had stage 4 melanoma in the lung. And if I would said, it won't bother me at all. It's your second opinion. It's your right to do what you want to about second opinions. And all we'll do is, if your oncologist out there, we'll get together and coordinate. So we went out there and met Dr. Hugh. And she is one of the top ones out there. And that just happens to be the oncologist that Jimmy Riley used.
Really?
And so we went out there and she diagnosed, checked over everything, all the tests, and this is when I started on my medicine. And ever since then, she and my oncologist back here, Dr. Cleveland, have consulted and communicated back and forth. I guess when it gets close to a PET scan or a MRI, they'll communicate and pass on what they've got, especially after they complete it. And she says, Dr. Houston, there's no point in me going, or us going out to Houston just to have a MRI or PET scan done. She says, your people back in Mississippi can do everything we do out here, test-wise, and so there's no point in you spending that money getting out here and having to spend the night or whatever. So, but Anderson is huge. You would not believe. You can get lost in a heartbeat if you. Some folks had no idea. Give you. I know. Gave you a little bit of instructions and on how to get around, but it's unbelievable. I think it covers, the best I can pick up, it covers 6 or 7 city blocks.
Well, when I went into it, it almost looked like a city within itself. You know, it looked like in Houston, you almost went into MD Anderson Texas with a zip code. Since you started your treatment, Greg, do you do most of your chemotherapy through IV, or is it by pills or a mixture?
Mine right now, I'm just taking pills.
Have you the majority of the time, or did you begin with the IV?
No, I've never taken an IV.
Well, I was thinking, and I wasn't sure about that when we had talked along that there was always pills involved, and that was interesting to me. You think they're moving more toward pills, Susan or Greg? Do y'all think they're just, or it's just whatever the kind you have or whatever the need is?
I really don't. They've talked about some other additional therapy, and what we've been able to find out is this additional therapy will be pill therapy also.
That's amazing to me. And you know, it's just because I never think that a pill can have that much power. But
I think pill therapy is so much easier on the patient, in my opinion. Now, Greg does have a port. They installed a port on one of our hospital visits in case he had to go to IV medication. But the pill is just so much easier. But I think it's just becoming so advanced now. You know, it just seems like every time that we go, there's something new on the table for a patient that's available now, which we are so blessed, you know, and thrilled that there is something, you know, something else on the table available.
Well, MD Anderson, when I visited it, when we went over there, I could not get over it, and it is such a good place. But like you had said earlier, we've got such good doctors in Jackson.
We love Dr. Cleveland. She is absolutely an amazing young woman, very caring and into her patients. It's not unusual at all for me to get a phone call in the middle of the week just for her to say, "How's Greg feeling? I'm just checking on him." And you know, you just don't find that, you know, anymore. You really don't. So we're very blessed to have her.
I've got an unusual question I want to ask you. That's not a trick question, so don't get worried. But I know that so often I want to do something for y'all or other cancer patients or sick, just anyone in general sick. What are things that we as people who love you so much can do for you? What's something, you know, that you need or is a good thing to do that you found if somebody did this, you never would have thought about doing it or something?
Well, in our case, one of the things for us is we've been on the road an awful lot, and that's one thing I have found, that when you're diagnosed with a devastating disease such as this, you are on the road either to your local doctor in Jackson, or we're on the road to MD Anderson. We are not at home all the time like we need to be. So one of the things that has helped us the most has been meals. You know, and our friends and our church family have just been absolutely amazing. But I would say this, that if you're doing something for just a couple like Greg and I, who don't have our children and all with us, meals in small packages, so that we are not dealing with a lot of leftovers all the time, is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
You know, and I would think too, even a gas card.
Well, that was going to be my next thing. You know, gas cards are great because everybody knows the price of gas today is just absolutely outrageous. Greg and I are so blessed that we have wonderful insurance, and I'm of course not going to tout our insurance company here, but we are blessed to have that. But there are still lots of personal expenses that not only us but other cancer patients, you know, incur, such as gas money to Jackson and back. So gas cards are great. Gas cards are an excellent help.
And I would think, you know, even a gift certificate to eat somewhere or something might be a neat thing or something like that.
That's wonderful. So we have been very blessed, though.
Well, you have blessed our lives, and I wonder sometimes if you realize the depth that you've blessed us. And I don't know if you know how much this man has blessed so many young people at Simpson Academy. Greg has been involved with baseball and football since
over 22 years.
Oh my gosh, we can't be that old. 22 years he was with my boys, and even now, and they love him. They love him. And he is loved by so many, and that means so much to know that you're loved. And I hope you'll take time to let someone know that you love them, and if you have the means and opportunity to take meals to people in your church maybe that you know, or you can always contact me and I can help you get hooked up with somebody that is in need at this time. Don't forget that Relay for Life is this Friday night, and that Greg is one of the honorees and a very deserving one. I hope you'll have a good week, and I thank you, Susan and Greg, for coming so much.
You're